I first met Talia in our third year at university. She wasn't just beautiful. There was something about her presence that effortlessly drew people in like she was a sun, and everyone else was just orbiting around her. She didn't have to try. It was like she had an aura. As for me, I wasn't anyone special. I wasn't loud or flashy. I just existed in the background, keeping to myself. But there was something about her that kept pulling my gaze, even when I tried to look away. Our conversation started casually after a class project. I cracked a joke, and to my surprise, she actually laughed, not the polite, forced laugh that most people give, but a real one. Over the weeks that followed, we talked more, mostly in the cafeteria or after lectures. I'd listen to her vent about professors, laugh at her random comments, and in those small, quiet moments, I start to think that maybe we were getting closer. I wasn't deluding myself into thinking we were dating, but I drove her home sometimes. She borrowed my hoodie once and never returned it. When she couldn't sleep, she'd call me, and I would always answer no matter the time. But there was another side to her, one that I couldn't ignore. She craved attention, especially from her friend group. Girls who looked like they just stepped off a runway, and guys who lived for the next validation. When I was with them, I became invisible. Worse, I became the punchline. It started subtly, like when I walked into a party she invited me to, and when her friend said, "Oh, look, your puppy's here." Everyone laughed, including her. She didn't offend me. Instead, she added, "He's loyal, I'll give him that." I forced a smile. Then there was another time at a cafe, trying to tell a story, but she cut me off with, "Ah, he tries so hard," mocking me with that sarcastic grin of hers. And again, everyone laughed. I felt like a pet, doing tricks for scraps of affection. But I stayed. I kept thinking that if I just held on long enough, if I just gave it time, she'd eventually see me, really see me. Then came her birthday. She threw a massive house party. Loud music, laughter that sounded fake, expensive outfits everywhere. I showed up with a gift, nothing fancy, just a first edition of a book she'd mentioned months ago. I thought it would show her I remembered the little things. She barely acknowledged it, just tossed it on the pile of gifts without a second glance. Later that night, someone came up with a dare list. One of the guys dared her to call the most obsessed guy of her life and tell him she'd never be interested. Everyone egged her on, and she picked up her phone, smiling wickedly. "Hey," she said into the speaker. "Just wanted to say, stop trying so hard. It's never going to happen." She laughed, and everyone around her howled. "Savage," one guy shouted. I heard it all, but I didn't say a word. I just hung up. I didn't text her. I didn't show up the next day. I didn't answer any of her messages. She messaged me the next morning, apologizing. "Sorry if that came off wrong," she said. Then, "You know it was just a joke, right?" I didn't respond. Days turned into weeks. At first, she seemed unfazed, but eventually, mutual friends told me she'd started asking around. "Is he mad? Is he seeing someone? He's acting weird." I wasn't acting weird. I had just finally stopped caring. I deleted her number. I stopped watching her social media stories. I focused on myself, work, the gym, hanging out with people who didn't make me feel like an accessory in their lives. Then one afternoon, there was a knock at my door. It was her. She looked different. No makeup, no sarcasm. Just her. "I've been thinking," she started, her voice unsteady. "About that night. About you." I didn't say anything. She continued. "You were always there for me. I took that for granted. I was stupid. I know, but I never thought you'd actually walk away." I didn't walk away. I replied, "You pushed me." There was a long silence before she asked a question I knew was coming. "Is there someone else?" I didn't answer with arrogance or anger. I simply smiled, a quiet smile, one that came from a place of peace. "Yeah," I said. "Me." She nodded, her eyes glossy, not a hint of sarcasm or smugness, just regret. And in that moment, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel angry or vindictive. I just felt free. I wasn't chasing her anymore. For the first time, she was the one chasing the silence I'd left behind.